Good morning to all of you. Welcome to our third day of these 40 days in this journey of faith that it is written. And I am sure that every single day that you dedicate your time to read and meditate in the Word of God, God will talk to you. He will speak to you. And that's what I would like to today, in today's meditation, to highlight. I'm going to read the first verse of the few that is for us to read today, which is the verse 15 of Deuteronomy 28. Remember that the first and second day we spoke about the first 14 verses of Deuteronomy 28, which talks about the blessings if we hear and obey the voice of God. And today comes the curses of disobedience. But let's read the first verse here of the many that talks about the curses. It says the following: "But it shall come to pass, if you do not obey the voice of the Lord your God, to observe carefully all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you today, that all these curses will come upon you and overtake you." And then comes the list, which you will take your time to read today, tomorrow. But I would like today to focus in this verse, verse 15, because there's many things here for us to, let's say, to understand, to think about. First of all, both obedience and disobedience, they come from us hearing the voice of God. So, disobedience is not for those, or cannot be applied, the word disobedience cannot be applied to those who do not know, to those who don't know the will of God. This, it's clear, if you hear the voice and you obey, as well if you hear and you choose not to obey. So, disobedience is for those who know what they have to do, but for some reason, they don't want to do. So, they are not giving ears to the voice of God. Now, let's talk about hear the voice of God. You know, if you make a research about our ears, if you make a research about human ears, you will find that our ears, they are made, they were created, they are here, and that's why we have two, not just for us to be able to listen, but actually they, because of the sounds and everything, they help our mind to know where we are, and they are the ones that brings balance to our body. Did you know that? The ears, I believe you've seen already somewhere a video when, for example, someone is close to an explosion or a huge noise, something that causes them problems in their hearing. It's like a noise or something. They feel like dizzy. They have to hold on to something because they lose balance. That is something you need to understand. You need to be aware, because our ears, they help us not only, again, to hear the sounds, the songs, the birds singing, people talking, the rain, good and bad sounds, let's say it. But they also bring this balance. And this is what we understand from the Word of God when it says that if you do not obey the voice of the Lord your God. So those who choose to do this, not physically, but spiritually, in their minds, in their hearts, they don't hear the voice of God. They lose balance in life. They lose balance. And they start to do things that will harm themselves. Because that is what curses are about. Curses is the person harming themselves. They bring upon themselves those pains and sufferings and losses. And all because of what? Because they lose their balance. So they start to make wrong choices. They start to call the attention of the wrong people. They start walking with the wrong crowd. They start to allow wrong feelings to be in their hearts. They start to be guided by their anger, by their hate, by their, let's say, their heart's desires, many times sins. They stay or they have their minds completely confused because then they allow the devil to play with their minds. So this person or these people, they lose their balance, spiritually talking, not physically. They will sow, they will reap the consequences of that in their life. Their body, their family, their finances, their love life, etc. But they will, of course, lose that spiritual balance because they are not willing to hear the voice of God. So this is very important for us to have in mind. This verse here, 15, the first that then after it comes many other verses talking about curses, and verse 1 and 2 that talks about listening and obey. When we hear and we obey, it brings balance to our life. If you choose not to hear the voice of God, not to obey, better saying, because hear, people, they will hear. But if they choose not to obey, well, that's when they lose their balance. So this is what I would like to say to all of you in our today's meditation. Tomorrow I will be back with another video, another meditation, and with what God will give to us to share with all of you. May God bless you all abundantly. Well, just taking advantage of the video and invite you to be with us today at 10 a.m. because in our night vigil, we invited people to come these first 3 days of the year to the house of God, as God said that His ark would go before His people in a 3 days journey to guide them and to find rest for them. So we came here Thursday, first day. We came here yesterday, Friday, day 2, and today, Saturday, is our third day of our journey, the beginning of this year. So even if you were not with us yesterday or Thursday, I invite you to be with us today, 10 a.m. in one of our branches, because in all our branches, this meeting will happen and you can come to receive, of course, this blessing upon you. May God bless you all and see you on our tomorrow's video.